The world is changing. People are connected through mobile and internet most of their time. Living in this networked society changes the way we communicate and share. It changes how we create and produce. It changes how we learn and research, as together we know more than ever before. And it changes how we organize and mobilize. So how can international development cooperation benefit from all of this? There are many actors in international development cooperation, but in most countries there is no good overview of what is really happening on the ground. Let's take, for example, education. The government, schools, NGOs and the World Bank have all collected data, but most of it is locked away in different databases. How many schools are there? How much money is spent on education? What are the results? What works best? To answer these questions, we need to first open and link the different databases. Now everybody has access to this information to reuse their data in their own way.
Open data can be used to curb corruption. By governments opening up information about expenditures, for example, community development funds, shows citizens what kinds of developments are happening in their communities. And this means that they're able to actually hold their governments accountable.
In Haiti in 2010, after the earthquake, we saw for the first time how companies like Google were providing satellite images, and then volunteers around the world turned these into up-to-date maps that could be used by the search and rescue teams on the ground. And this new way of how citizens and governments and companies can work together over internet and using mobiles is what we call open development.
So how can we make open development work? Key to all these developments are these fundamental principles. The first condition is content. Creators all over the world share their designs, code, knowledge, facts, and figures. Second is that users and consumers are granted explicit rights to access and reuse the raw material, to make adaptations, or to build new services or products with them. Thirdly, the raw material is offered in such a way that it can be easily exchanged, combined, and reused in a timely way on different devices and in different applications. The last key ingredient of open development is that consumers become producers. Individuals and organizations work together in new ways to build things that are bigger than anyone could have made on their own.
The World Bank opened up its data in 2010, and this was a very successful move that other organizations joined in. In Africa, Kenya has been on the forefront of opening up its data through the Kenya Open Data Initiative that makes most government data that is non-personal, public and freely accessible.
Donors and foundations came together to form the International Aid Transparency Initiative and agree on a technical IATI standard to exchange information on activities and budgets. And this saves a lot of time in exchanging the data, and also allows citizens and governments and organizations to track the money from the source to where it is spent.
How do we make the data and information meaningful for the groups we want to empower? How do we create new services, new business models, and new ways of campaigning? Is open effective and efficient?
Just providing access is not enough. We also need to work on the data literacy skills to allow those people to actually turn data and information into actions and campaigns. In 2009, a group of organizations came together who saw the potential of connecting our activities and our platforms, and that has grown into the Open for Change network, in which we bring together policymakers, programmers, data journalists, etc.
The Open Data for Development Camp held in Nairobi was a great event that drew various stakeholders from government, civil society and private sector. They came in and shared knowledge and ideas. This showed a very clear demand for open data initiatives around the world.
It's hard to predict what it will look like in the future, but just as internet and mobile phones are now an integral part of our lives, it's almost impossible to imagine a world without YouTube. International development actors will start using principles of open development and work together in new ways to make development much more effective.
In the future, I see open data for development as driving towards tackling wrong assumptions that are made about developing countries, reducing corruption, and leading towards fact-based policies.
We are open for change. You too?